Hey everyone, welcome to week 7, lesson 6. This week we're going to talk about the view, and this week should be a pretty easy week for most of you. We get to do part of the view this week. We'll only be implementing the welcome banner, the main menu, and the help menu. All the other menus or anything else that your player needs to input, we'll be doing another week. And this week there's only a team assignment. So there's a little bit of respite for you this week. You can take that time to go back, review any of your other code, make some fixes or tweaks. I'll be more than happy to help during office hours or any other time during this week if you need it. But other than that, let's get started on talking about the views that you'll need to implement. The lesson does a pretty good job explaining it, but I'll just go through a really quick example, just doing the welcome banner and main menu. So first of all, we'll need a view package. Again, you can follow the course example and have the actual cit.260.yourprojectname.view. I'm not opposed to just naming it view either. And then you'll need a new class in here. We'll call this the welcome view. So in our welcome view, I want to create a couple of different methods. The course assignment describes this as divide and conquer, and that's exactly what it is. First of all, I need a constructor, I guess. And there's nothing really to implement, so I'm just going to leave that empty. And then let's make one of our methods the display banner method. And as per the requirements documents and the requirements, every one of your applications must have a banner when the game is started. And so we actually don't need to return a string if this is going to be display banner. If I'm going to display the banner with this method, I can just let it be what it is, or I can just let this method do it. If I wanted to return the banner for my other method to display, I would have it return a string. But since this is the view, this should be really the one doing the displaying. So let's display a simple banner. I'll just pause this so I can get this done quickly. So you can see I've quickly written a quick banner. I'm just going to end it with a couple asterisks to make it more like a banner. And let's just test this out to make sure it works. So I'll go to my main package. In my main class, I'm going to comment out whatever I had before because I don't care about it. And let's try out my view. So first I need a new welcome view. And now that I have an instance, I can call that method. And let's run it and see and make sure that worked. And so you can see my little short paragraph of what's going on for the player is displaying correctly. So I'm going to call this good and move on to the next piece. The only other thing that we need to do in our welcome view is collect the player name and then I guess display another second welcome message to the player. So let's collect the player name and let's return it to the main method. So first we should probably prompt for the player name. And then we'll need to capture their input, and so to do that we'll need a scanner. So let's create a scanner just like we did in the first assignment using system.in as our input source. And we can then collect their name. So we'll say, let's create a a new string to store their name. We can say name gets the input scanners dot next line. Pretty sure that's what I want and not next. I think either one will actually work in this case. We'll use next line in this case. I think that'll actually wait for the, or look for the new line character, the enter character. And we can obviously test that. We can return name here. I'm going to come back and revisit this because we need to make sure that the name meets certain criteria, and you'll see that in the assignment. But let's just make sure it works. And to do that, let's really quickly add another output that will output the player's name and some other text. So really quickly, I'll pause so I can get through this fast. And so you can see I've made the display player name banner. I pass in the player, P, because I need to get their name obviously off that player object so that I can use it to be displayed. So we'll save this, go back to our main class. We've displayed the welcome banner. Now we're going to get the player name. And remember, this method call is going to return the player name as a string. So we need to create a player for that name to be saved to. And then we can do something like main character.set name to the result of the welcome view get player name. So it's going to take this player object, maybe I'll call it player so that it's clearer. So this player object, I just created it. I need to set its name to the result of this method call. And we know this method call is going to return a string. So that's how I'm going to do that. And then after that, I need to make sure it was set correctly by displaying the player name banner, and like I have over here, it needs that player as an argument to this method, so I better pass that player in. So let's run it. It's going to ask me to enter my name. I can say it's Brother G. And then it looks like it worked correctly. Welcome, Brother G. We hope you enjoy this game. So there are some quirks about this, though, that we need to prevent. For instance, if I rerun this and I say I don't have anything, if I enter nothing, then it's just going to say welcome blank. And I really don't want that. So we're going to try and force our player to input things that are correct by our standards. So to do that, we're going to repeat this kind of logic in a loop. So we're going to keep asking them to do it until they do it correctly. And to do that, the easiest loop is going to be a while loop. And a while loop does exactly what we think it would do. While the condition here is true, this block of code that's in the body of the while loop will continue executing. And so if the condition is never true to start with, so if this is false, this code will never execute. And to get around that, there's a do while loop as well, but those are really uncommon. It's more common to initialize your variable with something that will force the while to execute at least once. In this case, we're going to set name, or while the name, we're going to have, as long as the length is less than 1, because this is blank, then we'll have them input it again. I think the example has the length less than 2, and so we can go with that for the fun of it. Not many people have a name with only 1 character in it. Or no, less than 1 would be, yeah, 1 character would satisfy that. So you can say our name starts blank, the length is 0. So this is true, right? Name.length is 0. So 0 is less than 2. This will execute at least once. So let's have them ask them to enter their name, collect their name, and then we can even output an error message if their name isn't correct. So if the name length is less than 2, we can say something like please enter a name with at least 2 characters. And we can see if this works, right? If our while condition works by running this application again. So if I enter the name as nothing, it will prompt me to say, or it prompts me to enter a name with at least 2 characters. So let's try 1 character. And it's going to say, please enter a name with at least 2 characters. So I can do 2 characters, and then it'll work. So this is going to get you started with the welcome view. One of 3 views that you'll need for this assignment. I'm going to post a separate video for the main menu view because there's a lot more logic there, and this video is already getting kind of long. But I hope this gets you started, and I hope it makes you feel a little more comfortable that we're not doing a ton this week, and so you'll have a chance to catch up on everything. And if you need help again, I will be available. But yeah, I'll get started on the next video.